Hey, good Thursday. Thanks for joining us this afternoon on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. We appreciate you joining in from wherever you are watching. Hey, put a comment in the comment section. Tell us from where you are tuning in from today. Let us know if you have any weather questions as well. Let me get right into the headlines. Here's what we're talking about today. Storms are likely within the next 5 days. So we have 5 different chances for severe weather all the way through Monday for anywhere in the northern plains all the way to the Midwest. Meanwhile, farther out to the west, we are pretty dry. We have a high pressure system setting in. You may hear this as the heat dome. And what this does is it creates a very dry and hot forecast for a lot of people out to the west. Otherwise, we are checking on the tropics. Of course, our eyes are always on the tropics this time of year, and we now officially have 2 areas that we are going to keep an eye on. So let's go ahead and get into what we saw yesterday, and then we'll get right into that forecast, taking a look at a ton of hail reports, wind reports everywhere from Colorado all the way down to New Mexico into the northern high plains, Midwest, and exactly what we saw this time yesterday. We saw that tornado warning, several tornado warnings all the way up the East Coast and near the Great Lakes. So a lot of people got severe weather yesterday, and you can see just how many people were affected by the wind damage for some. We also saw hail up to the size of 2 inches in Iowa, just north and western Iowa yesterday, also seeing some of that big hail. So a lot of people getting severe weather yesterday. We are expecting another round of strong to severe storms today as well. Taking a look at the current conditions, we have maybe a line of showers through Oklahoma right now. It's going to be spotty, not everyone getting rain there. This goes all the way up through Missouri and then into the Midwest, all the way up to the East Coast. We've got a very, very thin line of showers. Also seeing some showers and storms farther down to the south into Texas and into Florida as well. This is actually part of one of the areas that we are tracking out in the tropics, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. Into the Midwest, Chicago may be getting some light rain this morning, but I haven't seen anything go severe so far or as of right now. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on that for you as we go throughout the next few hours. We are expecting some storms to pop up, especially out to the northern plains. Current temperatures, it is toasty out there. I could feel it this morning whenever I was outside walking my dog. 91 here in Oklahoma City. It definitely felt warmer. I think we were in the 80s this morning whenever I was outside taking a walk. It felt so much warmer than that. So you can definitely tell that temperatures feel warmer than what it says right here. That is called the heat index. That has a mix of the dew point or humidity levels as well as that temperature. So the more humid it is, the hotter it feels out there. The harder it is for your body to cool down. Farther out to the west, we've got 107 in Las Vegas. Maybe they have some clouds in Los Angeles this morning because they've got temperatures in the 70s. We've got the 80s all up and down the East Coast here. Also seeing 80s anywhere from Minneapolis over to Billings, Boise, 68 in Portland. Man, that feels nice. That would be really nice to see. 68 in Portland. Okay, taking a look at your future radar here. This is the area that I want you to be watching for storm initiation anytime after 2 o'clock this afternoon. You're going to see those storms start to bubble up. They're isolated at first, but they may become a little bit more scattered a little farther down the line there. I think you can see that anywhere from Rapid City all the way down into the panhandle of Nebraska and then into northeastern Colorado. These are the storms that we are watching for hail to be produced from today. You can see that this is pretty isolated. Not everyone getting storms here, but one of the most promising areas is anywhere from Rapid City all the way down to the panhandle of Nebraska there. Now, taking a look at that hail forecast, I do think that we could get just a little bit larger than the size of a quarter, maybe even into potentially golf ball sized hail today. Rapid City all the way down to Pine Ridge has better chances for those storms, but I did keep Scotts Bluff in the low risk level for today. Now again, that'll be happening anywhere after 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock this evening. The highest hail size here up to ping pong ball sized hail. Could we see golf ball sized hail? I'm not going to rule it out. However, I think that it's a very, very, very low chance to see that for today. Taking a look at that hail model here, you can see that this is the better chances to see hail out to Colorado, Nebraska, and then all the way up to South Dakota. And you can also see that we have a little area near Kansas City that we could see some hail with today. However, I think that while the potential is there, the storms do not line up at the right time to produce this hail. Could we see some small hail? It's not out of the question, but I do think that storms are just, they're not going to fire at the right time for large hail in this area. Kansas City, okay, we've got lots of instability in this area, so we are expecting a round of storms later on tonight and into the late night hours. Here's a look at your forecast all across the states here. You can see storms anywhere from New Mexico all the way through Oklahoma. We talked about that earlier, into Missouri, all the way up the Midwest and into the northeastern side of the U.S. We even have those storms down in Florida. But I do want to return back to this area where we could see some stronger storms later on tonight and into the overnight hours, right? So at the very early morning, Friday morning, you could be waking up to maybe some light showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder or a strike of lightning. Now, for the most part, I do think that this will stay non-severe, not looking for those severe storms there. But because we do have the potential for some very, very small hailstones, I did want to talk about it here. Also, taking a look at places like Tulsa, even up to St. Louis, you could be waking up with rain in the morning, delaying that morning commute. So just keep that in mind as you head out the door for your Friday. No one wants to be late on a Friday, right? You want that Friday commute to be really smooth. All right, taking a look at your future radar for Friday now. Hey, welcome to the end of the week. We are very glad to see this very long week after a holiday start to come to an end. You can see that we have showers and storms anywhere from the East Coast all the way down through South and North Carolina into Florida, even Louisiana and Texas getting some storms. But in a very similar fashion to what we saw today, we have another chance for storms up in the northern plains for tomorrow. So you're going to see those storms bubble up in a very similar time zone here. Anytime after 2, 3 o'clock tomorrow. Some of the more promising places will be North Dakota and to the northern side of South Dakota for some of that stronger or larger hail. Taking a look at tomorrow's hail forecast here, I think you could get up once again to golf ball sized hail, maybe closer to ping pong ball sized hail for some, and then closer to quarter sized farther down to the south into Nebraska and South Dakota. Better chances for those storms where we're going to see that line of storms from Bismarck all the way up to Minot. Okay, taking a look at the largest hail sizes here. I think that's what's next. There you go. Yes, largest hail sizes that you can see for tomorrow. As I mentioned earlier, I think that we'll go right in between that ping pong ball to golf ball sized hailstone for tomorrow. All right, looking ahead here. Tomorrow, today, this is not the last chance that we're going to see storms over the next few days. I told you 5 days in a row. So what are we looking at here? Saturday, storms right through the northern plains and into the Midwest. Sunday as well, we are expecting those storm chances to move down to the south just a little bit into Chicago and including Minneapolis in this here. Continuing this trend through the Midwest and near the Great Lakes all the way through Monday. So we have 5 days today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday that you could see those storm chances. So make sure that you have that in the back of your mind as you make your plans over the weekend or even as you make your plans into early next week. Alrighty, taking a look at what to expect over the next few days. You know, we talked about the storm chances really thanks to this high pressure system that's setting out to the west. Now, what does this mean? This means that all of the storm activity is going to go around this high pressure system. That is why we see those storms start to come into places like the Midwest, into Minneapolis, into Chicago. That also means that farther out to the west, we are going to stay hot and dry. High pressure systems are known for dry, sunny conditions, which of course in the summertime also means that it's going to be very hot. So if you think it's too hot today, wait until you see temperatures this weekend. We still have those heat advisories and alerts and warnings in effect anywhere from California all the way through Nevada and even parts of the plains here, watching for some very, very hot conditions over the next few days. It looks like even as we get into the middle to last week of July, we should continue to see those very warm conditions. Above average conditions are expected anywhere from the west coast all the way down to Florida. Up the east coast, we're expecting to see temperatures staying above average. So that could mean a different temperature for each state, but our average temperatures but the temperatures that we're expecting over the weekend and all the way into the end of July should be above average here. So Oklahoma, that means we're talking mid to upper 90s, triple digits could sneak in there. What about the rain chances here? Pretty dry through the southern plains, pretty dry through the southeast as well, pretty dry out to the west thanks to that high pressure system in this area. Even as we get into the middle to end of July, it looks like we're going to have some dry conditions out to the west. Maybe if the high pressure system can break down a little bit, then we could get more rain chances right through the central portion of the U.S., even the East Coast looking to get a pretty low chance for rain, but it's there. All right, I also told you that we are tracking the tropics. We've got 2 areas to keep an eye on for tropical activity. The first one just off the coast of South and North Carolina and just off the coast of Florida. Here you can see that we've got some storms in this area, but the National Hurricane Center only has a 10% chance for this to form into anything more interesting than just some storms, right? Anything that we could call a tropical cyclone. We're not going to see much out of this. However, if you head farther off to the east, and we're talking, keep going, there we go. We're going to see another chance for tropical development out to the east. So what we're looking at here are several different disturbances in a very similar path to what Beryl took just about a week or 2 ago. What we're watching for is continued tropical development. This could happen very quickly, so over the next few days, we're going to keep an eye on this area right here, and we will let you know if it does develop into anything interesting. We could have a very, very active hurricane season, and we're just at the very, very beginning of it, so it does look like we're expecting to have more activity over the next few weeks. All right, thanks for joining us today. Of course, don't forget to follow us on social media. You may be watching us live on either Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok right now. Go ahead and push that follow button. Instagram as well, head over there. We love to post different reels on Instagram, talking about the weather, talking about what we're seeing out there. Don't forget to send in your hail pictures or storm pictures as well. If you can safely get a picture of the storms that are coming through your area, we would love to see it. So you can send that in to any of these social media pages, or of course you can give us an email. Also, if you're interested in any of our plans, go to info@hailtrace.com to send us an email. Hailtrace.com, we've got several blogs there as well. If you are a weather enthusiast, you may like that website, or give us a call at 855-334-4245. We'll have someone help you set up a plan. Okay, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you back here for your Friday forecast tomorrow.